Hello friends and welcome into NFL Daily and a happy new year for everyone as well. So with that in mind, how about a new 2020 NFL mock draft? We begin at number 1. This isn't going to change. Barring some type of calamity on or off the field for Joe Burrow, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick because even the Bengals aren't that dumb. You need a franchise quarterback? Guess what? You've got one in Joe Burrow. The numbers are so ridiculously insane. It's pretty crazy to think about right there. This is a no-brainer for the Bengals. Number 2, meanwhile, this one makes sense. Chase Young out of Ohio State to the Washington Redskins. Had himself a fantastic season. He is, if not the best player, he's the clear-cut second best player in the NFL draft. Redskins, no, edge isn't your biggest need, but either you trade this pick so someone else can come get Chase Young, or you just take him and continue to build your defense. So the draft, in reality, might actually start with pick number 3. Lions fans, I am sorry. We skipped over you in our NFL draft order. I am sorry. That is my fault. I promise you, we will talk plenty about you all offseason long. And number 3, they're in an interesting spot. I'm sure that some might want to go quarterback. I think you roll it back with Matthew Stafford. I would strongly consider trading this pick, make it up for grabs, say, hey, best offer, come get it if that's the route you want to go. But if you want to fill a big need with a top-tier player, how about the other Ohio State star defensive player? That's Jeffrey Okudah, the cornerback. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Darius Slay, actually. Why not have 2 of those guys on your roster? I think that is a great idea for the Detroit Lions. But Lions fans, let me know in the comments, who do you want to be the number 3 pick? Maybe you want some defensive line help. Kind of thought about Derek Brown. I don't know if that's the route you want to go. But if you're watching on YouTube, you might get an ad break here. So scroll on down to the pinned comment and respond. Moving on now to number 4. The Giants are going to keep Dave Gettleman. Okay. They like trench play. Andrew Thomas, I thought strongly about Jedrick Wills here, by the way, so keep an eye out for him rising up more and more as we go along here. But I've got Thomas who can help you at tackle, and the Giants need offensive line help to build around Daniel Jones. Number 5, it's Tua. I will be honest with you guys, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Maybe he goes back to school and tries to recover and play a little bit at the end of the year. Maybe he turns pro and so ends up being a top 5 pick. Maybe the hip's actually really bad and he slides really far down in the draft. I'm not sure what we're going to get from Tua. Dolphins, they need a quarterback help. I think they like Tua entering this year. They did plenty of advanced scouting on him. If healthy, he's in the discussion for being the number 3 pick or a team trading up for him. Maybe they just stamp out and get him at number 5. Number 6, the LA Chargers. If you are drafting the top 10, that in most cases means you have a quarterback issue. That's the Chargers right now. Phillip Rivers, last year of his deal, didn't play that well. When's the next time LA is going to be inside the top 10 with a chance to get a potential franchise quarterback? I don't really know. So if you like Herbert, I do. I know he's not for everybody, but I think he's a better version of Daniel Jones, quite frankly. Herbert makes sense at number 6. Number 7, the Carolina Panthers. I've got them taking Derek Brown out of Auburn. I am a big fan of Brown's ability as almost this 1-3 technique hybrid guy that's going to get a lot of pressure for you and is still a big body. And for Carolina, you got a bunch of free agents coming up on the defensive line and in the secondary. Take the best defensive player, at least for now. We'll see how free agency changes things. I like Brown's fit in Carolina, and he's certainly going to be an impact player, I believe, in the NFL. Now, if you guys are like me, you love the NFL draft. I assume that's why you're watching this mock draft video. That's not all we're going to have here. We're going to have plenty of mock drafts, I promise you. Draft rumors and buzz that we're hearing and is being reported out there. Draft prospects as well. And, of course, we'll be live for the entirety of the NFL draft. So if you love the draft, you got to subscribe to us here on Chat Sports. We're going to keep you covered all pre-draft process and, of course, combine coverage as well. Number 8, the Arizona Cardinals. CeeDee Lamb thought about offensive linemen, but the Cliff Kingsbury scheme wants multiple receivers. You have Christian Kirk, who I like. Andy Isabella didn't play a ton. Keyshawn Johnson's probably more of a number 4. Who's your real number 1? I don't know if you do. Now, I don't know if CeeDee Lamb's going to run a 4.4 or if he maybe runs in the lower 4.5s. That's a possibility, but he's going to run fast enough. I love what I've seen from Lamb this year. I love his mindset. Not quite as maybe talented as current day DeAndre Hopkins, but think that's a decent comp because he's great after the catch and in contested catch situations. Normally, you get one of those, not both. To number 9, Isaiah Simmons, the Clemson, I'm going to call him a linebacker, but, I mean, you have all kinds of options here if you're the Jags. You can play him at linebacker. You can play him at free safety. You can play him at strong safety. He does everything for this team. I am a big fan of Isaiah Simmons. The Jags need some linebacker help. I think he'd be a fantastic fit. Number 10, Jedrick Wills, who, if you really closely pay attention, you've probably heard a bit of buzz around him. If you're maybe your first time watching a mock draft video, he might go earlier than this. He's the Alabama right tackle, which, remember, is technically Tua's blind side. Browns have all kinds of needs on the offensive line, and that's going to stay the case, at least until free agency potentially, regardless of who their GM and head coach is next year. We'll go back-to-back offensive lineman, Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. I like him. I think there's a pretty clear-cut top 3 on the offensive line. We mentioned Andrew Thomas, Wills, and now Tristan Wirfs. I think Wirfs has a lot of athletic upside there. There is some off-the-field red flags in terms of had some drinking issues in the past there, but I like Wirfs, and if you're the Jets, you better start protecting Sam Darnold quickly. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock. They've got pick number 12. Quick reminder for you Raiders fans, I'm sorry, Isaiah Simmons was not on the board. I would have loved that pick. He's gone. CeeDee Lamb also off the board. So instead, I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy, who I actually this year, entering the draft process, I had Jeudy ahead of CeeDee Lamb. I've kind of come around a little bit on that, and I think it's close. I love what Jeudy brings. He is not the same speedster that Henry Ruggs is. Not that he's slow, but he is an incredibly crisp and elite route runner. Maybe he's a little bit like Odell Beckham in that regard. If you want an Alabama player, maybe a little bit like Amari Cooper. I don't know if he's going to test quite as well, but we'll see at the Combine. So Raiders fans, which receiver would you rather draft? Type L for Lamb, J for Jeudy. I would guess that most of you are going to go with Lamb. And that's fine. I understand that. I think it's close, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, today's show was brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code NFL120. You do that, you get yourself a 120% deposit bonus. Last year, they had some fantastic Combine betting props out there. I made a lot of money betting on the Combine because I know how fast these guys are mostly going to run. So go get involved, chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. On now to pick number 13. Oh, I can see the divisiveness already. It's interesting to me because the Colts fans and some Colts media I've talked to, they actually kind of like Jordan Love, which is interesting because you're going to have a tough time selling that stat line to fans. You really are. I will say this, Love's upside is high. We let Josh Allen and Daniel Jones go in the first round. Why not Jordan Love? If you hear Patrick Mahomes comparisons, that's not fair. That is an unrealistic expectation. I kind of prefer more of a Jimmy Garoppolo comparison for Jordan Love. He needs to sit a year, let Jacoby Brissett start if you want. That could pay off well, and I like this fit for Love and Colts, but make no mistake, it's a damn risky pick. So Love is quarterback 4 off the board in round 1. So will there be over or under that amount? Or I guess a split there. We'll do 4.5 so there's no ties. Over for 4.5, type in O. Under 4.5, type in U. If you want to see my vote, well, just keep watching and we'll see if another quarterback goes or not. Number 14, I think it's maybe a little bit of a reach, but God, the Bucs need offensive line help, and we'll see what they do with Jameis Winston. Maybe quarterback will be an option here. I think Jacob Eason would fit the Bruce Arians mold pretty well, but if I'm the Bucs, look, man, I got to get some offensive line help. Leatherwood, I think, is the best guy left on the board. Great value here at number 15, Christian Fulton. If you lose Chris Harris, corner jumps to near the top of the needs list for the Denver Broncos. If Fulton's off the board or if Harris is back, watch out for a receiver, be it CeeDee Lamb, be it Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs would be a pretty damn good fit, I believe, in Denver. I love this pick at number 16. I think there's a good chance he goes higher, maybe even 13 or even the top 10. Couldn't quite find a better spot here, though, for A.J. Epinesa. Bit of a slow start this year for the Iowa Passengers, but he fits what the Falcons want to do really, really well. If he's on the board, I think it makes a ton of sense as the pick. Number 17, the Dallas Cowboys. I would be lying to you if I didn't think about trying to get Christian Fulton there. But I don't really think he falls out of the top 15, so instead, I'll go with his teammate. I'll go with safety Grant Delpit. Unlike most years, the Cowboys actually expressed interest in looking into adding help at safety. They tried to trade for Jamal Adams. Of course, that did not go down. We'll see if that trade rumor is revisited at all in the offseason. And Delpit had tackling issues this year. If you want to look on the positive side, he was really good in coverage. He can actually cover, which the Cowboys need pretty badly. And once his ankle kind of healed up, the tackling issues went away a little bit. You wonder if those two are connected. So Cowboys fans, who do you want in round one? I don't know about you. I am ready to get hurt again. I am ready to fall in love with a safety and not get them. Now, maybe it's Grant Delpit, maybe it's Antoine Winfield, don't have in round one, maybe it's Xavier McKinney, but let me know. Fulton was off the board. I loved Derek Brown. That one, though, also isn't going to happen. To number 18, this is a name that I have not mentioned on any of our previous shows, and I think I may have mentioned it in one comment when someone asked me about the Louisville best prospects. Mekhi Becton is the best one. I think you'll hear his name pop up more and more and more as we move along. I thought about a playmaker here for Miami. After all, Chandler likes to use multiple receivers these days, but you got to get some offensive line help too. All right, the second of the two Raiders picks, this one via the Chicago Bears. Dylan Moses going back to school. Simmons off the board. Let's go with a cornerback. I like TREVON Diggs. He had some issues, make no mistake about it, against LSU. He was guarding Jamar Chase, who probably going to be a top 10 pick next year, if not even higher than that. He was impressive beyond that game. The rest of his film, I liked it. My biggest red flag, I wonder just how fast he is. He doesn't really get roasted deep downfield, but his recovery speed, sometimes I kind of question it there, but he's long, he's athletic overall, make no mistake about that. I think he'd be a good fit for Oakland, and he fits what NFL teams like these days at the cornerback spot. To number 20, I didn't really expect Javon Kinlaw to fall this far, but hey, if quarterbacks go early and offensive linemen go early, guess what happens? Other good players fall. I really like this fun fit for Kinlaw in Jacksonville. Looking ahead, they do have some needs on the defensive line. 2 first-round picks, and tell you what, they'd love to get Diggs if the Raiders don't take him at 19. To number 21, Henry Ruggs, the speedy receiver from Alabama. I've got him going to the Philadelphia Eagles. This would be a great fit for Philly. They clearly need wide receiver help. Ruggs comes in, gives them a vertical threat to either pair with or replace Deshaun Jackson. So speaking of Alabama players, how many are going to go in round one? Is it going to be 3, 4, 5 beyond that? Let me know in the comments how many Alabama players you think are going to be taken in the first round. One note, I did not put Devonta Smith, and I wonder if he could maybe actually end up back at Alabama for one more year. Number 22, Penn State edge rusher Yetur Gross-Matos. Tennessee needs somebody across from Harold Landry long term. I like the fit, and I like the athleticism that he brings as well. I don't know how much this pick will change because this is one of my favorite prospect team matchups, at least before free agency. That's T. Higgins out of Clemson to Buffalo. The Bills don't have a ton of size at wide receiver. They can get some with T. Higgins. I think he is a fantastic pick. Now, of course, we're out of the top 20, so reminder, the draft order will change based on the playoffs, and you can bet on the playoffs on BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120 for a 120% deposit bonus. If you put down $50, they're going to give you an extra $60 for free. That's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. Moving on now to number 24. That is the Minnesota Vikings. About Jeff Gladney. I think he's a bit under the radar right now among cornerbacks. I think he's pretty damn good, though. And Minnesota, assuming they keep their front office and coaching staff, they love them some corners. Number 25, the Miami Dolphins back on the clock here. This pick, by the way, comes via the Houston Texans. They don't have a running back long term. It's not their current group of middling at best players. Frankly, they're some of the worst. Frankly, the Dolphins are the worst backfield in the NFL, by far. Travis Etienne, I've liked him for a while, part of a very strong running back group. bring him in and give yourself a dynamic option back there. Number 26, the Seattle Seahawks. I've got them taking Shaun Wade. Now, he's not Jeffrey Okudah, but he's still pretty damn good too. Now, he's played almost this safety nickel hybrid. We'll see if he actually turns pro. If he does, I think he is a mid-ish late round 1 guy, maybe falling to round 2. I don't really think that there. He's a good player. I think he fits what Seattle likes, and plug him in at nickel where Seattle does need help. Number 27, LSU's Cleveland Chasen. I like parts of what he does, and he looked really good against Oklahoma. I almost kind of fear, could this be a Kevin Dodd situation where he jumps way up because of a good college football playoff? He is I actually like him better in as a run defender and pass coverage. The pass rush has been inconsistent, but you're starting to see flashes. If he goes pro, I think this is about the right range for him. Maybe he goes back to LSU for one more year and then really breaks out and gets into the top 15 discussion. Number 28, Laviska Shenault out of Colorado. The Packers have Devontae Adams, and do you really trust anybody else? I kind of don't. So for Green Bay, get yourself an impact wide receiver. That is Shenault, and it'd be a good pick for Green Bay. The Kansas City Chiefs, they are next up here, number 29 overall based on their current draft order. I would love a corner. Shaun Wade's off the board. I don't really love C.J. Henderson. Maybe he's a fit here, but let's mix it up. Let's not go corner, and over again. Let's get them another offensive piece because why not? Isn't this the best? Yeah, Damian Williams has done fine. Darrell Williams is still there. We'll see if LaShawn McCoy's back and beyond that. It's not the biggest need, but I think Swift is a fantastic fit for what the Chiefs want to do. I think that is the best route there for Kansas City. Number 30, Jacob Eason, the New Orleans Saints. If you lose Drew Brees, or if you retain Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater walks, because I don't think you can afford both of those guys, if you lose both of them, which I think, or at least you lose Bridgewater, you don't have a long-term option. So bring in Jacob Eason. He needs work, make no mistake, but here's I think your ideal scenario. If you can't afford Bridgewater, a very real possibility. If Drew Brees says, hey, I want to come back, kind of have to, right? So you let Bridgewater walk, you draft someone like Eason, who, make no mistake, needs a lot of development. Could be a really good fit, though, in New Orleans. On now to number 31, the 49ers. We'll get more into this in a second. They're going to trade this pick. I don't foresee San Francisco, with wherever they end up sitting at in the draft, if it's 32, 31, or before that, I don't see them keeping that pick. That's the only pick they have in the 4th round. So, trade it. Now, if you do keep it, you got not that many needs because you're a really good team. Reminder, don't yell at me for the draft order. It's just current order. I'm sorry, Niners fans. You're great this year. Congratulations. Interior line, could use some help there. I like Tyler BIADASZ a lot. That's why I call him Tyler Badass. I think late 1st, early 2nd. Hey, isn't there a good track record, by the way, of Wisconsin centers going in the 30s? Isn't there a really good player? Just remind me there. But back to the earlier part I made note of. What should the 49ers do with their 1st round pick? Type K for keep, T for trade. I think it's pretty clear cut. You don't have very much draft capital beyond the 1st round. Trade the pick. Do what Seattle did last year. Trade down, and then trade down again, and maybe even a 3rd time. Just add extra assets because the 1st round pick's nice, but you need more than just one guy. All right, number 32, Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. The Ravens have to make a decision with Matthew Judon. They've already brought back Marcus Peters, so cross off cornerback. Edge is a top need, though. I like Weaver. I think he's going to be in this late 20s, early 30s, maybe early 40s at worst range. I think he'd be a good fit in Baltimore. Now, if you're a team without a 1st round pick, I'm still showing you guys some love. That's the Bears, the Steelers, the Rams, and Texans. This Bears pick, by the way, actually from the Oakland Raiders, part of the Khalil Mack trade. Let's get them another pass rusher because Leonard Floyd isn't very good. Terrell Lewis comes in. Injury concerns, highly talented. Hunter Bryant out of Washington goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Vance McDonald, he ain't the guy. Let's give Big Ben and whoever they end up having long-term at quarterback a athletic move-type tight end. 52, the Rams. I like Trey Adams. I don't know if that's going to be the best fit, though, for them. There are some medical concerns. I think he makes sense, though, for the LA Rams. So number 57 then, Kenny Willekes, the edge rusher from Michigan State, rounding things out here. You're getting back J.J. Watt. That's some great news, but you haven't really replaced Clowney. Take a gamble here with the young and I think athletic Michigan State pass rusher. So everyone grade my mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Notice I made you wait until the end of it because otherwise we're just making stuff up. So let me know, A, B, C, D, or F. I think it's an A, but of course I'm just a little bit biased here.